Hello, everyone. Michael Caraccio with another episode of Just My Honest Opinion. It is Wednesday, November 20th, 2024. I want to thank you all for joining. If this is your first time, welcome. If you've watched some of my other videos before, welcome back. Uh, Going to get my usual spiel out of the way first before I start addressing my topic. Um, I am out on Rumble. You can find it on the URL there, justmyhonestopinion.com. Um, as I have been collecting more and more people following me out on the Facebook end of this, which I greatly appreciate. I would appreciate if you could please just jump over to Rumble and follow my Just My Honest Opinion channel over there. That would be greatly appreciated. Um, um, if you, it's free. It's a really good platform. Um, I don't run any risk of having any of my material just taken down uh, at random. Kind of how sometimes YouTube was handling things. I didn't want to really chance it out over there. And plus the monetization process over here on Rumble and such is much simpler. So if you like the videos, or even if you don't like the videos and you have comments and such, please leave a comment also. Let me know. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Again, feedback is always appreciated, whether it's good or bad. Um, so you don't have to agree with everything I say, but if you don't agree with it, just let me know why. If I make a mistake or you think I got something wrong and such, let me know. If you think it might be a little more lengthy than just a regular everyday comment, please email me. That's my email address there, mjcgemini@verizon.net. And please put JMHO in the subject line so I make sure that it's flagged and I don't miss it. And I will respond back to you. And, even if you have maybe a topic or a question or something that might develop into another video and such, I'll be more than happy to address it. But I do want to respond back to you. And like I said, whether you're viewing of my videos and my content and stuff is good, bad, or otherwise, please feel free to let me know. I'm welcoming any criticism, constructive criticism uh, that you may have and such. So lay it on me. I have gotten tidbits, some IMs and such from people that do know me and such who happen to tell me that they like the content, which I appreciate. Um, but like I said, if you're out there and you can't get me through IM and such, I prefer if you leave a comment and stuff. Let me know. Let everybody know. Uh, what you really think, because that's what I'm doing. I don't mind you doing it to me. All right. So, what did I want to talk about? What I wanted to talk about and such is President-elect Trump has been, I mean, on fire and rapid fire, shooting out his um, uh, people he would like to have for his cabinet. And outside of the fact that it seems that there are, uh, for lack of a better term, I mean, it's just they keep labeling them as liberals, but the far left Democrats and such, supporters of the Biden administration, who was supporting Vice President Harris, uh, are still, in a sense, losing their mind. I mean, it seems that it might have died down a bit. I think, I don't know if they've gotten control of their emotions, which I kind of addressed in my last episode. Um, it seems that um, the hysteria is still out there, and again, it appears that this is it's going to probably be an attempt at doing to Trump what they did during his first term, during 2016 to 2020. Um, this whole um, resistance, again, if you go back to any of the video clips and stuff from 2016 through 2020, they were talking about the resistance back then too. So they decided to, I guess, blow the dust off that playbook, and they're just going to try the Democrats and liberals and the far left folks, and they're just going to continue to try to put a boat anchor around Trump's neck. Problem is, uh, he apparently has a better grasp of what the swamp really is. Plus, he also had, I would have to say, about 4 years uh, while he was out of office and stuff to prepare for this. The fact is that in his first administration, he needed to gain allies and gain and accumulate, I guess, a little bit of political capital. And now that we're done with the 2020 election, I think he has an awful lot of political capital and such. Plus, he has a lot of uh, uh, very, very strong folks standing with him, shoulder to shoulder, standing behind him to support him. It seems to be through thick and thin, that he really didn't have during his first tenure. His first term, he might have, it appears there were some uh, appointees that he had that were not loyal to him. They were more loyal to an ideas of days gone by. Uh, they they were married to the swamp. That's kind of how I read it. John Bolton is one of them. Um, I would say Barr to a certain lesser extent. I mean, I liked Barr. It was tough, but um, I don't think anybody really that you know even Vice President Mike Pence. I mean, let's just say, I mean, the 2020 election was a shit show. But I'm not here to talk about that. So we're going to go and move on to this the fact of the cabinet picks in particular, and Trump now uh, um, configuring and making up his administration and how it's going to look. Um, the fact that he has RFK Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr., um, the fact he has Tulsi Gabbard picked. Uh, I'll even mention Gates. I know that's one of the main ones that they're screaming about. Basically, he's a pedophile and had sex trafficking and all of this. If you're not familiar with it, I didn't want to go out and get links and sit here and start going over, you know, what's out there, because a lot of what's out there and such, of course, if you do a search and stuff, I guarantee it, whether it's DuckDuckGo or Google or Bing, the first ones that are going to be showing up are left and far left uh, news agencies' opinions and such, the CNNs, the MSNBCs, the Washington Post, and you know, I wish they were a little more balanced and a little more of the idea of what news uh, media should be, not what it's become, which is flagrantly, I think everybody would agree, whether you like my politics or not and stuff, you would have to agree that yes, a lot of the news out there and such has become a biased political war as opposed to just supplying facts to the general public and such, so that we can make our own decisions and own calls on who we like and don't like, and uh, you know, not doing this persecution by a political party, and it goes on both sides. It just happens to be. We'll have to. I mean, you have to. No, you don't have to. My opinion again is the fact of it's been heavily slanted against President Trump, and my uh, perspective on it isn't such as that if the guy was as crooked as they tried to make him out to be, and as much of a tyrant and fascist Hitler type person as he was made out to be and such, he would have started all of that and stuff 30, 40 years ago. Um, and he would have showed signs of it. And quite honestly, until he climbed into the political arena, was when he all of a sudden became the reincarnation of Adolf Hitler, which is a bunch of bullshit anyway, plain and simple. You have a difference of opinion, let me know. Uh, Love to have that discussion. Um, I'll even have a podcast and talk to anybody that wants to, maybe have it in almost an old time format of radio and such, and I'll cycle through some people. But again, so a lot of this hysteria of who's qualified, not qualified, garbage, in my opinion, that's going on with regards to who he's trying to pick for his cabinet, really seems to stand out to me at this time, um, because, like I said, we have former Congressman Gates, who had moved to have the last Speaker of the House apologize for my memory and such. I really should start doing notes because I'm trying to do everything off the top of my head. Uh, I'm just trying not to uh, appear to be, uh, I'm prepared. It's just that a lot of this is more so it's off the top of my head, and I have been thinking about it since it's been going on. And again, I cycled through a lot of information, whether it's on either side of the spectrum, CNN, MSNBC over here, and you got Fox over there and such. And then like I say, I go through social media, see other people's comments, other articles from other parts of the country and such, just to, like I said, to get a feel for the information out there and try to assemble something that even resembles, uh, facts, because it is becoming more and more difficult to get the opinion, have everything filter through, get the opinion stuff out of the way to find what are the facts. And part of the facts is and stuff is that Gates, former Congressman Gates, was accused of having a relationship with a 17-year-old girl. He, took her over state lines, which could be a thing of, and this is all allegations, to be honest with you. Nothing has been substantiated from what I've read and such. I mean, this went on, 2-3 years ago. They were already investigating him, practically um, from the beginning of the Biden administration or so. And if, to be honest with you, I think with the way that the DOJ, FBI, and such went after President Trump and people associated with him over the 4 years of his tenure, plus in the last 4 years, I think that if they had anything on Matt Gaetz, it would have definitely, uh, you would have seen across the news and stuff him in handcuffs. So if I kind of look at whatever the accusations are in lines with the uh, Russia uh, dossier, which again investigated for 3 years to have it come out the other end with a big fat zero. There was absolutely nothing to it, and it was all a lie, and it was paid for by the Democratic Party. Uh, that when Hillary Clinton was running, that's a fact. So we now have another scandal, so to speak, for who uh, uh, President Donald Trump or President-elect Donald Trump um, picks for who he wants to be the United States DA, basically running the DOJ, Department of Justice, for his administration, Matt Gaetz. And here comes that supposed report and stuff of what happened. Again, if anything truly had happened, it would have landed him in handcuffs because the whole transporting underage girl of 17 over state lines and stuff is a felony, and he would have been arrested already. The fact that the legal the uh, forces of the Biden administration didn't do any of it kind of gives me that Russian dossier feeling again. So I kind of have to sit there and go, it's bullshit until I see differently. Uh, Anybody has any information out there that can actually prove that it's true? Please forward it to me. Let me know if it's a link, if it's something you want to send me an email, a comment, and such. Maybe you have more information than I've gotten. But I think the hysteria that the fact of there also is a lot of people going, why are they scrutinizing, Trump's picks so much? There is some validity to that, but my honest opinion is I like the scrutiny. We want to have the folks that are going to be in positions of power to be scrutinized, and I mean, we're not talking about mudslinging. We're not talking about coming up, making up or fabricating lies and rumors and passing that off as being facts. What I'm talking about is like if there is legitimate uh, uh, questions to the character or the abilities of someone being able to carry out an office that they're either being asked to head up or run within our government and such, they should be scrutinized. Personally, I don't think there was a lot of scrutiny going on with Biden's administration and his cabinet picks and such. I mean, and anybody that he had running in his administration. I have three examples that I kind of want to touch on. But the thing is that I don't think that there was a heavy dose of scrutiny going on because when you take out the uh, identity politics out of it and such, that's the only way you can get scrutinized, and that's what's happening to Donald Trump's picks for his administration and cabinet. Um, how would I mean, there is that hooting and hollering, screaming and hysteria, as far as I'm concerned, right now, of people turning around and saying, Matt Gaetz is not qualified and such. He's never run a thing like, anything close to a Department of Justice. Um, we'll go to Mike Huckabee. I mean, he former governor for Arkansas. Um, he President Trump plans on appointing him as the ambassador for Israel. I mean, I've seen people trying to pick at him, and it's like, my God, he was a governor for a state and such. I think he can handle being an ambassador for Israel. He's been a staunch supporter of Israel. I think he's a very intelligent man. And I mean, but he seems to be the lesser of what their hysterics are about. Um, Trying to go over. I'm trying to because there have been so many that Trump has. I mean, if you I read today that Trump selecting his cabinet and the people for his administration, I think they said, is being done 4 times as fast as any predecessor. So that's why even in my opening of this video talking about this topic, I had mentioned that I feel he was prepping himself for the last 4 years before the election. He was kind of that preparation of, if I do win, I want to hit the ground running, and he's doing that. He wants to get everything in place so that he can hit the ground running January 20th. And I think as Americans, regardless of size, you have to appreciate the preparation. You don't want to end up having anybody on either side that was elected that was just going to drag their feet and just go through this whole honeymoon period. And I don't know if you want to call it election hangover, the quote unquote first 100 days of, an administration and stuff, and have it just be, particularly in these times and such of financial difficulty, to get, the country back on track, that 70% of the country feels that we're on the wrong track before the election, which is one of the reasons why Donald Trump won. Sorry if I'm making people cry by repeating that, but you know what? Go cry. It's a fact. If you were in the 30%, you thought that, uh, interest rates being as high as they are, not being able to afford a house if you're in your 20s, I wouldn't know what the hell to do if I was in my 20s, um, to try to, like, start a life or whatever and such, and buy a house or whatever now, with the way prices are. Just, filling up the tank to gas to get you back and forth to work, or even if it isn't to work, if it's to social activities and such, and the expenses to just, go out on a date, um, that, you know, skyrocketed in comparison to what they were during Trump's term as president to, the Biden Harris uh, um, uh, term that we've are still going through and kind of wrapping up. Quite honestly, I mean, you want to sit there again. You want to turn around and say everything's 20%, more and more expensive, and that's the track you want, our country on. Um, God bless you. You must be rolling in money. I certainly ain't. Uh, and apparently 70% of the country and stuff, whether they have money or not and stuff, didn't agree with that. So you're kind of in a minority that wants to say that. But anyway, 70% of the country didn't like the track we're on. We're now trying to get the train back on the tracks, to something that the country wants. Apparently, uh, the American people have spoken and turned around and said they liked what Trump was saying. We have a sample, we have the privilege of having a sample of what he will do by his first term. We saw what the Democrats were offering for the past 4 years. Um, Americans put it on the scale, and guess what? The scale went on Trump's side. People don't want uh, uh, high gas prices. Do not want, like, how high the price of food is and such, and the nonsense of freaking gouging is the reason why food prices are so high. Then they would price gouging and stuff for almost 4 years. And only because they started coming down to the deadline and stuff, it must be food, price gouging with our food. It was going on in January of 2021. It was going on in 2022 then. It was going on in 2023. Here we are in 2024, and now all of a sudden it's price gouging. Uh, Bullshit, and obviously that was proven false. And congratulations to the majority of Americans who, saw through that bullshit and actually, voted their intelligence. Um, they voted the facts. They didn't vote their feelings. The people that voted their feelings, you're entitled to do that. But you probably wouldn't have felt so shitty after the election was done and you didn't, your person didn't win if you didn't do that because, nobody likes to be that emotional and stuff and be wrong. That's what you did to yourself. I mean, you basically did not allow yourself to get your, emotions in check and to look at things for what they were and are. You allowed people to tell you what they were. Um, so it had a lot to do with the mainstream media. I mean, did anybody, if maybe you didn't catch it, if you have caught it, you had Joe Scarborough and his wife Mika from MSNBC is now they're being raked over the coals by the left and liberals because they ended up going to Mar-a-Lago and being accused of kissing the ring of Donald Trump. I think that once the election was all said and done, and the hysteria that they and absolute garbage that they spewed. I mean, Trump's first term and straight through the last 4 years of absolute lies and garbage. And the fact that, MSNBC's ratings, particularly with their show and stuff, have fallen through the floor because people couldn't believe. I mean, somebody like me can't, uh, but the people who bought everything that was coming out of their mouth, who hook, line, and sinker, are running away from their station, MSNBC and their Morning Joe show, rightfully so. I mean, Rachel Maddow should be another one. Just basically anything on MSNBC because it was nothing but lies, lies, and more lies, and just gaslighting and everything they wanted to accuse Trump and the GOP of doing, they did themselves. So I guess they're trying to reset and become at least be viewed as going to be impartial and this neutral calling balls and strikes type media that they should have been all along. And I'm sorry to say, but I hope this is not a thing of boycotting to make them suffer. It is more of a thing of I wish people would stay away from them until they go away. And they put actual people in there that can start off fresh that we can trust because it does become a thing that, they were lying in order to increase their popularity. And I would rather them have been more truthful, which would have got them through to retain a an audience. I might have even watched them without a little bit of the amount of skepticism I had because nothing that they were ever talking about and stuff came true. And if you go back over the last 8 years of their ba 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 ba, they lied. They lied about pretty much anything and everything, and that's what got them their ratings because they were willing to gaslight everybody and the people who just wanted to operate on feelings and damn the facts and not do their own fact checking in a sense of what Joe Scarborough and Mika was saying. You followed it, you bought it hook, line, and sinker. You got led around by the end of your nose by them, and you found out and stuff that they were full of it the whole time, and you got pissed, and rightfully so. But I think your anger is misdirected at people like me who supported Donald Trump or even Donald Trump himself and stuff when you should be pissed at the people who were lying to you. All right. Okay. So um, I'm sure a lot of people out there are watching this and going yeah, but there's a problem with this pick and that pick and that pick. I just want to bring up a couple of pointees and if you remember this guy. This is I had his name. Oh, Sam Britton, and he was I think an assistant director for the Department of Nuclear Energy, and he, again, the problem with identity politics, everything becomes a thing regarding uh, firsts, and he was the first openly trans man uh, to be appointed to that position. Um, as it turns out, he ended up being, I forget if he got fired or he was or he quit or resigned and such, because apparently this guy who dresses up as a woman, wants to walk around as if he's a woman, um, was stealing uh, other people's luggage, apparently women's luggage, and was keeping the women's clothes. Um, and he got caught. And not only did he get caught once and was still kept with his job, but then he got caught a second time, because apparently once wasn't enough for him. But apparently he had been doing it for quite some time. And finally, Judgment Day, in a sense, came to him and such, and he ended up losing his job. Now, why am I putting this? Because I'm not going to sit here and make fun of him. It's just simply the thing of is that, again, you want to say, he is his own person. He should be whoever he wants to be. And I say, fine. If he thinks that, Halloween is every day, God bless him. But to put him into a position in the government and such, that is important. And I think nuclear waste and how it gets handled and stuff is pretty important. If you don't think so and such, but you're a person who's worried about climate change, I think you better double check your priorities. But the fact is and such is that this is he was a DEI hire, that whole diversity, and it's about his sexuality or who he thinks he is, his pronouns was how he got the job, and not be based on his qualifications or even his mental stability as far as his behavior showed. And he didn't have that mental stability, obviously. So he ended up being canned, or he ended up resigning before he got canned. So this was, one of those hires from Joe Biden that you want to turn around and talk about somebody who gets picked and was iffy. Reason I bring this up, and I'm going to bring up the other two, is because they were not scrutinized. Because they were assigned, you couldn't have scrutinized them, particularly at the time that they were being recommended or being selected by Joe Biden, is because of DEI. And I say that with very much confidence, because if anybody said, yeah, but what's his qualifications? Immediately the left would have turned around and said I was being homophobic, or I was being prejudiced towards the alphabet people, the LBGTQ, blah, blah, blah. Um, that's pretty much a fact. I mean, that's how come the scrutiny was not amped up to a level and such to actually look at his qualifications, to look at his stability, to look at his work history, to be grilled a bit and such, to see how he would handle uh, uh, that kind of questioning in a sense and stuff, to see if he was the best qualified. They decided to go with, again, the first, and it blew up in their face, the Biden administration's face. So he was obviously horrific. If I was to, I'm not going to sit here and go through every single person in the Biden administration. I'm sure there are enough of people who just basically sat around with their thumbs up their ass, and you know what did they do? They collected a paycheck, and this guy was definitely an example of that, of set up in a do nothing, high profile job and stuff, and kept being shoved to the front of, oh, look at the DEI, look at the DEI hire, look at the DEI hire. and he was found to be absolutely horrendous. And when the luggage scandal was coming to light, everybody was being called a homophobe and misogynist and you know being a bigot and whatever the hell else. I mean, they just decided to label this anything and everything when it was a fact of, they wanted it to go away and it didn't. Because when he did it again, it was like, enough is enough. So there's a DEI hire. So, I would turn around and say, if you want to complain about a Tulsi Gabbard being in the position that she is, well, I would put a Tulsi Gabbard there as opposed to this guy anywhere. This guy had no business being anywhere near the White House or anywhere in anybody's presidential administration. Um, so he, quite honestly, he was a joke. And overall, sorry to say he was a joke, but he should get the help that he needs, and hopefully, he'll become a better person and get his issues into under control. Now the next person, of course, uh, this is Rachel Levine. She he he's a trans. His original name is Richard. He was the assistant secretary for the Department of Health and Human Services, HHS. Um, of course, he was, one of the big backers and operating and keeping an eye on the CDC and the NIH. So that was kind of, I believe, his uh, operation. Again, another DEI, first openly transgendered individual and such in that position. Uh, Sorry if I sound like, yeah, whatever, but yeah, it becomes a yeah, whatever. He was a pediatrician, is a pediatrician, so he was a doctor. He um, I'm sorry to say, but if he was a pediatrician, when my kids were younger and stuff, there would be no way in hell I would bring them to this doctor. And he would have to be, oh boy, he would have to be something awesome as a doctor. But I really actually looked, and it wasn't like he had an outstanding career uh, as a pediatrician. I mean, yeah, he was a pediatrician. He went to school for it, whatever and such. But what made him to be an assistant secretary in the at such a assistant secretary HHS um, is beyond me. I'm sure there were much, Ben Carson comes to mind as a physician, heart surgeon, an accomplished medical person in the medical field. Ben Carson would be somebody that jumps out at me and such as qualified for the position that um, Dr. Levine held, and he was assigned to and such. But again, that's what DEI does. It doesn't make you look for the person best qualified. It makes you look for the person that cannot be scrutinized at a high level and such without being accused of being biased against their uh, sexual preferences or uh, whatever they want to call themselves or be. This is another one of those, uh, you know, what gender dysphoria sufferers. Dr. Levine is obviously. Um, I feel getting professional help would have suited him better. But he basically went with the crowd. Um, when it came to COVID and such. He wanted to sit there and talk about masks and all that other fun stuff and that he knew was a lie. But you know what? You couldn't question him and such because if you were, you'd be, guess what? Yep, a homophobe or against transgendered people and such. And I'm not. And quite honestly, like I said, I'm sure he's a good person. I'm sure he would help an old lady across the street. I'm sure he would, help get a cat out of a tree or whatever and such. He's probably, a wonderful human being or whatever and such. But was he the most well qualified person to be in the position that he was, particularly if he was going to, not use his medical training and such to assist with proper direction during the COVID uh, pandemic. Instead, he was just a political pawn, uh, and it was more important about him, you know, being a woman or whatever that he believes he is, than it was for him to do, the medical side of his job and doing that. And that's why I didn't think he was such a good selection. I think somebody, like I said, Ben Carson, Dr. Ben Carson, an accomplished cardiologist, uh, I mean, high standing in such, would have been a better person in the position that Dr. Levine held. Um, I mean, I think Ben Carson would have pushed back on the mask and the mandating about vaccines and such, instead of just going with the flow and stuff to keep his job like Dr. Levine did. So again, he's another gentleman. I don't wish him ill. I just think that, yeah, I'm glad they're going to be able to get a person uh, that more qualified, more medically in tune with the health and welfare of uh, the citizenry of the United States than being concerned about whether or not she he was a standing example of the alphabet people there. So I would say, Dr. Levine, take care, goodbye, good luck, and I I I hope you get better. I'm really not, uh, you know, I wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed, and apparently I don't think a lot of Americans were. All right, then we have, of course, Mr. Peter Buttigieg. Uh, I believe he was the secretary of oh, what the hell was it? Secretary of not commerce, uh, of transportation, right? Okay, but definitely had to do with that. I chose this picture and stuff because if you remember, this is Mr. He was a big advocate for the Green New Deal and saving the planet and everything. Yeah, and Pete's uh, uh, scam was simply the fact of and stuff is how he claimed he bike rided to work every single day until he was caught. This is just a picture clip and stuff of them pulling his bike a block or two out of a car, so he could get on it and then ride at the block or whatever for the photo op to see. Oh yeah, there he is with his little helmet and the bike. Uh, he was a phony. He was just a flat out phony. Um, he was on vacation when there was the threat of the rail strike. Uh, I believe at the beginning of Joe Biden's administration's tenure, back in 2021. I believe he was out and unreachable, out on paternity leave when him and his partner had adopted twins. when the uh, uh, that chemical train derailment occurred, he was, not to be found. He certainly did not, go, oh crap, let me at least go in, take a look, put people in line, and yeah, he was an absentee. He was an absentee, and pretty much, I don't know how the roads are in your state, but there was a lot of, I don't know, a lot of talk about transportation. Uh, Shovel ready, I know, was a big phrase and stuff back in the Obama administration, but he was using the same phrase, and there really wasn't a hell of a lot that, I mean, again, how impactful was Peter Buttigieg in the Biden administration? He was basically, again, another DEI hire. He was only hired because he was, uh, he was gay, and that's, you know I could care less. My immediate thing, and I'm sure most Americans go to and stuff, go, I really don't care what your sexual preference is. Can you do the job? And he proved that he wasn't doing the job. I'm just gonna have a little water here. I'm sorry. Get a little throat dryness. Yeah, he was, a mayor of a town in Indiana, I believe. Yes, and somehow he climbed to this high rank of you know not based on his uh, abilities. He was picked because he was a gay guy. I mean, that's really why he was picked. He wasn't scrutinized about his capabilities, about his experience, about how well he might do the job. Any of that. It was, again, one of those. He's a first, and that's what DEI gets you. It gets you. What is your sexual preference? How do you fit into, being a first and stuff? Not, are you qualified? Are you an exceptional person, the best of the best, cream of the crop type thing? And he just wasn't. Um, I would like someone to tell me what is the most outstanding thing Peter Buttigieg did. I'm going to admit to you and such. I don't spend and haven't spent an awful lot of time, you know, digging down, getting into the weeds on Peter Buttigieg and his career. I have done, and I'm more than superficial searches. I've done, um, I wasn't exactly doing pedestrian searches and just sitting there letting somebody else tell me. I, I've tried to find, maybe I didn't, like I said, dig down, really get down in the weeds on him and such. But I think that if he did something spectacular outside of getting this job because he was gay, um, I couldn't find it. And to me, it's one of those. It's not holding him to some sort of unattainable standard. Um, but you know, being from New Jersey, I I see what the bridges and tunnels are and the roads are like here in Jersey and going over to New York City and such. And just if I was to take it on that alone, um, you know, it's not pretty. and and I could not find one thing that Mayor Pete here did in the entire time is in the Biden administration and such that was so exceptional and stuff to say, hey, he really knew his stuff. Like I said, he was hired because he was gay and he was put in this position just to be pushed out in front to show DEI and being a first, so that the legacy of the Biden administration is first. I guarantee it, it's going to end up he's going to be moved aside, and mainstream media will talk about first this and first that, and Peter Buttigieg was the first this, and Dr. Levine was the first this, and even the nuke guy in the dress is going to be a first, and those are the first DEI firsts. It's not going to be about accomplishments. It's not going to be about what they did for the United States and what they did for the citizens of the United States. It's going to be just the fact of their whatever their DEI moniker is. Um, so goodbye to you too, Pete. I can't see him being in politics once he's out. People are just, I don't see you gonna go, boy, gotta get that gay Peter. And I'm not, and I swear I'm not being a homophobe about it and stuff. But they want you to, for a political party and stuff that doesn't like labels. They want everybody to be judged on labels, and that's always been confusing to me. So if you're out there and you're a a President Trump supporter, um, and you're don't get overly upset and stuff about the scrutiny that his choices are uh, being uh, that are occurring. Matt Gates. Uh, I mentioned former Governor Huckabee, uh, Tulsi Gabbard, even Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. I mean, go Doge. I'm gonna do a video on them soon. I'm gonna do another episode on them soon, and then the whole Doge thing. But for this sake of this topic and such, don't sweat so much about the cabinet and the political maneuvering and such. And Trump really needs to have the team that he wants around him. He wouldn't be picking them if he didn't have a purpose or he didn't think they were qualified. Let's face it. He learned his lesson the first term of going on uh, what he believed were the best choices. Now he knows what the best choices are because he had people around him and such that he trusted. And come on, you know that too. It's important to have people around you that you trust. That'll be honest with you and stuff to tell you, thumbs up, thumbs down. Not yes people. People that are going to tell you what it means. Uh, you know, um, my thing was always raising my kids and stuff is how to judge. They used to be like, how do you know if you're getting good advice? And my thing always was and such. What do they have to gain by the advice they're giving you? And I used to do it particularly with my son, uh, as the metaphoric. I'm talking about a preteen, teenage kid, so that you understand the thinking behind it. Is if you ask your best friend about a girl, is what I used to tell him. I said, and the guy, what you think is your best friend and stuff turns around and goes, no, 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 she's got cooties and she smells uh, and that kind of thing and stuff. Usually, and then you see him and her dating like a week later. Obviously, he wanted you not to make a move on that girl because he was already attracted to her. But if he sits there and gives you an honest thing going, yeah, go for it. I mean, what's it going to hurt? Why do you like her? And kind of is wondering what you're looking for in that aspect and stuff. Yeah, I guess she's cute. I wouldn't date her. He's giving you an opinion and trying to really be honest with you and such. So if he tells you, nah, and then she's got, her hair looks funny or whatever, and she dresses weird, but then, just being superficial and trying to knock her down to get you not to, probably there's a selfish intent. So again, that's kind of look at how they're attacking the selections and the candidates for the positions of the cabinet that Trump is putting out there. If you are not a Trump supporter And you want to sit there and go, but what about these people? And he's putting all these people who don't have any experience. Um, and let me know if you want me to do another episode on this topic, because I can only turn around and tell you and such as that a majority of the people who ended up being put into a presidential administration since the beginning, and I'm talking about the beginning, George Washington, um, they didn't have any experience either. And we've made it this long. There is a history of 26-year-old kids that we would consider being members of Congress, and when Congress was actually uh, making up and fleshing out the Constitution. If you do a little research, you'll be surprised at how many 26, 27-year-olds were in the Congress and in the helping and helping shape our Constitution. Interesting facts. I'm sorry I don't have any of them, but if you let me know and such, I'll go and dig them up for you and stuff, and I'll do another, maybe I'll do a shorter video and such, but I can do that discussion and just let you know and such to kind of make you go, huh? Which is why, I don't want to get off, you know, the topic of the cabinet and the Trump's administration's selections for how he's, rounding off his administration. But it's going to be a thing of why civics should be reintroduced and really emphasized in our school system again. Hopefully, knock on wood, that's where we're headed and such. All of the CRT and Project 619 and all that other crap, DEI can get the hell out of here, and we can get back to the stuff that counts and matters. Because as far as I'm concerned, DEI and CRT can go take a flying leap at this point. The whole woke. I know there's a lot of people out there and such who are, looking at it as, I think this is going to be the death of woke. Quite honestly, I don't want to use words like death of woke kind of thing, but I hope it just goes away where back where it came from. And that is a nowhere place as far as I'm concerned. And I wish people would just drop it and leave it and never look back. Um, so you want to pick at Trump's selections for his cabinet and his administration? Go ahead. Let me know who you don't like and why you don't like them. Um, Pipe up. I really would be interested in such. Uh, Let me know what you think, how you feel about it, and let's see if you know. I don't know, if you give me something strong enough and stuff. I'll sit there and go, you know what, maybe they aren't the strongest ones. But like I said, I'm more interested in people being qualified and being able to do the job and such than how they dress or what their preferences for sexual partners or whatever are. I'm just, and you know what? I truly feel that there are a lot of Americans that are the same way. They could care less. I heard it was said on the one of the news programs I was watching and stuff. They turned around and says, "Well, we don't think that the American people really care what you do in the bedroom. Whatever you do in the bedroom, man, that's up to you." That's pretty sound. It's not like we're trying to shove anybody into a closet or make them non-existent. It's just, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, and that's, it really doesn't. If you can do the job and you can be a good citizen and stuff, to me, I know I've voiced it in the past, and I'm going to voice it again and stuff. It does come down to me and stuff. It's not discrimination against and then fill in the blank. To me, it just has to do with discrimination, and that's where I leave the period and stuff. I don't like discrimination. Nobody should be discriminated against for any reason. And discrimination, I'm talking about being discriminated. I'm not talking about, a pedophile and stuff not being allowed to run a daycare. That's not discrimination and stuff. That is just smart. So, uh, thank you for joining me and, hearing me out. I'm gonna bring it up again. Here it comes. This is another ask on you. So if you please follow me on Rumble on my channel. Just type in justmyhonestopinion.com, and that URL will take you right to my channel and such. You may have to just sign up to Rumble. It is free. It's free of charge. You don't get charged anything for it. And just please become a follower of that channel. It really would be a big help, and I can't stress enough and stuff how much I appreciate your patronage of watching these videos. Please leave comments, either positive or negative. Uh, I will not knock anybody's comments off of. I will leave them up and I will respond to them accordingly. However, if you have a little bit more in-depth or more lengthy an opinion, again, and any feedback or suggestions, please email me. My email address is mjcgemini@verizon.net, and please make sure you get that JMHO in the subject line, because I want to make sure that it's flagged and I don't miss it. I don't want to be rude to you, and I do care about your feedback. And like I said, positive or negative, please come on back and let me know. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, anything you want. But the most important thing is please follow me on the Rumble. I could really use the your patronage there. And again, thank you very much for joining. I hope I helped out, clear some things up, gave you something to think about and such. Maybe you won't feel like you want to return the favor to me. Please do. But until my next episode, hope to see you again. Again, I'm Michael Caraccio, and just everything was just my honest opinion. Talk to you soon.